Welcome to the new graduate student orientation tutorial for all new Masters in FCS graduate students. During this tutorial, we will discuss goals, why they're important, the importance of meeting with your academic advisor, study plans, the comprehensive exams, the thesis, independent study, or internship options, policies for the department and the university, the importance of getting involved, and then funding opportunities is what we'll end up with. Here's just a little plug for Facebook. If you are on Facebook and you want to join the EIU MS and FCS graduate program, you can send me a message and I'll add you to the group. We just put announcements up there about job opportunities or funding opportunities or other events that come up. Okay, so we start with goals because it's important to understand your purpose in the graduate program. So I jokingly put on the slide, what do you want to be when you grow up? But generally you should have some idea of what your career options and goals consist of. When you applied to the program, you wrote a statement of your career goals, and the graduate review committee looked at those and determined whether or not people were ready for the program. We don't want to just accept people that are flailing about, not really knowing what direction they're going in. So this will help you when you go to develop a study plan and determine what courses you'll take to earn your master's. It's also important to take a moment and think about any obstacles that you face that could potentially pose a barrier for you meeting your goals. And then what about your social support system? So what kind of support system do you have in place? This just helps you recognize that there will be barriers. Everybody has them. They're unique to the individual, but you want to have a plan for how you're going to overcome them. And that's where your support system comes into play. Meeting with your advisor is not only mandatory, it's necessary. You must schedule at least one meeting with your advisor every semester. Advisors can help you to avoid taking classes that aren't required or necessary, and they can help make sure that you're taking the courses you need to graduate. Depending on when students are admitted to the program, the requirements change. So there are different admission requirements. Not admission, but study plan or curriculum requirements for people that were admitted 2010, 2012, 2013. So it's not helpful to discuss with other students what classes you should take because they're not always the same. You definitely want to speak with your advisor. I can email you a copy of a blank study plan. Anytime you need one, just let me know. And the study plan is what we'll discuss next. And the reason I'm mentioning it now is because your advisor has to sign off on it before any other committee members can do so. So what is a study plan? It's basically going to be the contract between you and the university. You have to file it by the time you finish 12 graduate course hours, and you should meet with your advisor prior to trying to fill it out yourself to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing and you're filling it out correctly. When you do so, you will also discuss with your advisor which other 2 faculty members you want to serve on your academic committee. This choice is yours, but you can certainly ask your advisor for advice. And basically, students typically end up selecting professors they've had in class, or that they knew before they started the program, or that they've worked with on an independent study or other type of project. But that isn't a hard and fast rule. You can pretty much ask anybody that is a member of the graduate faculty. The best or easiest way, quickest way I should say, to determine that is whether or not they have the doctor credential or the PhD, because only those professors with a PhD are able to serve on a graduate committee. At some point, you'll have a discussion with your advisor about whether you should do a thesis, an independent study, or an internship. A thesis is conducting original research from start to finish. It's a lengthy process. It very rarely can be completed in less than 2 semesters. So if you're wanting to get through the program quickly, this is not the option for you because often it can take 3 semesters. An independent study is a project that's developed between the student and the professor of their choice. The professor, of course, has to agree to the independent study, and the student and the professor will map out what the project will consist of, what the timeline is, and how the findings or the end result will be disseminated. An internship is very similar to the internship that many of you had as undergraduate students, only as a graduate student you are more in control. So you select the internship site, you do the calling, the meetings, getting the paperwork signed, and then you find a university supervisor. Typically it's your academic advisor, but it can be a different professor. And you have to register to take any one of these options the semester before you want to do them. So if you're wanting to do an independent study in the fall, you have to get paperwork in with your advisor and the chair of the department in the spring semester. If you're wanting to do an internship next spring, you must submit the paperwork with your advisor and get the chair of the department to sign off in the fall semester. It's very important to remember this is your responsibility. As a graduate student, you have an advisor, but you don't meet with them on a regular basis to basically discuss, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. As a graduate student, we expect you to be able to handle that on your own, and you are ultimately responsible for your own curriculum. So it's important to remember that you have to sign up the semester before. The comprehensive exams, the purpose is to determine a student's ability or their understanding of the coursework and the experiences they've had in the graduate program, and to synthesize the learning that has taken place. And we expect students to do this without notes and textbooks and prompting. There are 2 parts, the written exam and the oral exam. The written exam is a 2-hour process which is scheduled in the fall and in the spring. Students take it together in a computer lab. Every student is given their own exam the day they go to take the comp, and the questions are submitted by their committee members. So their advisor and then the 2 professors they choose to serve on their committee will each submit 1 comprehensive exam question. The day that the student takes the exam, they will finally see those questions, and they will select 2 of them to answer in the 2-hour period. Writing matters just as much as content, so it is important to save time while you're writing your answers, to edit your work. And we do have what we call a toolkit of documents and videos to help students prepare for the comps. When you go to take your comprehensive exams, you'll email me the semester you want to take them, and I will send you those documents and let you know the date of the exam. Once you have passed the written portion of the exam, you can go on to the oral portion. That is also a 2-hour process, but it's a verbal meeting between the student and their committee members. Students will answer the 1 question they didn't respond to in the written exam, but they will also be asked to follow up with information that may have been missing on the 2 questions they did answer. Pretty much everything is fair game, so it is important that students prepare for exams. And as I said, we have documents that can guide you on this, and you can also discuss this with your advisor. The comprehensive exams are taken the last semester. You have to have at least 27 hours of coursework before you can take them. We do require 30 hours of coursework with a thesis and 32 hours without a thesis. And if you opt to do a thesis, you don't take the comprehensive exams. Instead, your thesis is the written comprehensive exam, and your oral defense of your work at the end of the process is your oral exam. So let's just discuss, again, this option of the thesis independent study or internship. It is related to what you want to do, and I've given you some idea of what an independent study is, what a thesis is, and what an internship is. I will tell you the majority of grad students do an internship, and that most students that plan on going on for their PhD at some point in their life should probably consider writing a thesis. Students that are not going on for a PhD typically do not do a thesis, but some do. It depends on your career goals and what you want to do. Policies. We have university policies or EIU policies, and that can be found on the EIU Student Conduct Code. We have graduate school policies, so as a graduate student, your dean is the dean of the graduate school, you're not the dean of the college where you're earning your degree. And there are requirements from them, but then also we have our own departmental requirements. And so, of course, the Student Conduct Code, cheating is not allowed, and anything that goes along with other student policies are relevant to graduate students as well. And I'll let you can look that up, the link I've provided. You can see here, this is a hyperlink and will take you to the conduct code. The graduate school requires that all graduate students maintain a 3.0, and you cannot graduate or take your comprehensive exams unless you do have a 3.0. If your GPA falls below a 3.0, you'll be placed on academic probation. You'll be warned by the graduate school that this is taking place. And if you don't bring your GPA back up to a 3.0 during that semester of academic probation, you risk being dismissed from the program during the next semester. Very important you discuss with your advisor how to improve your GPA if you are having issues. Earning a C at the graduate level is equal to failing a class. It does bring you below the 3.0 GPA. And so it's very important that students work hard and keep the 3.0. It's very difficult to bring that back up once they drop below that. Other requirements, of course, I've already indicated the regular communication with the graduate advisor, that you're making progress, you're not just admitted to the program and taking classes for the heck of it, that you're actually trying to complete your degree, and then professional behavior. And so this applies to not only behavior in the classroom, respect for other students, respect for the professor or instructor. It also applies to any correspondence that you have with your advisor or other professors in the department. So even emails through D2L, which is our online learning system, those count. So you don't want to shoot off an angry email to your professor about your grade or about something that happened in class, because that does go into your file. They forward it to me. I put it in your file. I typically send you an email letting you know you're on warning. We do expect you to be respectful. We don't think that you're going to get along great with everyone and every teacher. That's impossible. But like in the real world, when you're off in your career, you do have to sometimes deal with difficult people. And so part of the process of graduate school is learning how to do that and be a professional. We expect you to do that. If you have issues, you can discuss them with me or the chair of the department, which is Dr. Carla Kennedy Hagan, or you can even discuss them with the dean of the graduate school. However, if you are not following the policies that I've outlined here, you won't have a leg to stand on if you have a complaint. You've got to follow the policies. The importance of professional organizations, although not part of your curriculum, being a member of a professional organization helps you to build a professional identity. It allows you to network with other people in the discipline, not only other students, but other professionals. And it also helps you to present your research you conduct for classwork, or research that you conduct as an independent study or thesis. Professional organizations also provide resources that you need after you graduate and you're looking for a job. So we advise students to join at least one professional organization, annual conferences where students can not only attend and network with others and be privy to current research that's going on in the discipline, but they also have an opportunity to present their own work. The ICFR has a special section for graduate student presentations. So does IAFCS, the Illinois Association of Family and Consumer Sciences. That conference is typically in the fall and also has an opportunity for graduate students to present. Talk to your advisor about the opportunities and when proposals need to be submitted. Another opportunity for presenting research is the EIU Graduate Student Expo. This is for EIU graduate students only, and students can present class projects, theses, or independent studies. The deadline for submitting work is in March, and I've provided the hyperlink here, so you'll want to check that for deadlines. But the actual expo is in April, and it's a professional experience. People dress up and they present their research in either an oral presentation or a poster presentation. Even if you choose not to present your work, you are still encouraged to attend it. And then you can see what other students are doing on campus, including within your own discipline. Finally, I'm wrapping this up with opportunities for scholarships, as well as travel money, or even grants to help you with your research. So there are scholarships available through FCS for FCS students. You can go to this link here. The deadline to apply for those is in September every year, so you want to double check that. And then also through the graduate school, you can apply for travel grants or for grants to help fund your research. The guidelines for those proposals can be found here. And if your work is accepted at a conference, it is a good idea to apply for a travel grant so that you can get some money to help you get there. If you have any questions about those, feel free to ask me as well. Committees, I just want to throw in a little, a little speech about committees. It is important to professional development, and when you are out working as a professional in FCS, you'll often have to serve on various committees, not only within the workplace, but also within the community. So there are opportunities to do that, and if you are interested, let me know. My email is on the last slide, as well as my phone number, my office hours. There are lots of opportunities to do that, and I can definitely hook you up or provide you with those if you're interested. Some require a lot of time, some require very minimal time. It just depends. So let me know if you want to do that. And that concludes the new graduate student orientation tutorial for Master's and FCS graduate students. I have given you my email, my phone number, and my office hours for this semester. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, but do make sure to meet with your advisor. Okay? Remember, people are busy and they may not always respond to your first email, so don't hesitate to provide another one, a follow-up, just to make sure, or to make a phone call to see if they're available. I hope that you enjoy the graduate program, and I welcome you to stop by and say hello and introduce yourself. Okay, thank you.